so much. Glenn, share with us how far have you come, and have you had any challenges so far?
Sorry, are you talking to me or is that a general question?
Glenn.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, from my side, I'm still in the beginning stages of on the JetLab one, and I think that one for me is very helpful because the one on there's this the developers who are the code labs. It also has challenges. I had challenges now there, but the guys, but I'm getting through it when I go to the JetLab one. It gives me an idea where I'm going wrong on the other one. So basically, both of them is helping each other to fix a problem. So that's
Okay.
why I think if that, but that's not before I go into the. I would spend probably like 30 minutes to an hour on the plural side just to go through, but then I get confused again there because there's things that obviously you don't know yet. So you have to
Yeah.
go back to the Jet Labs one, then you rather go through. So what I'm doing, I'm just going through that at the moment. So when I get to the plural side, at least I have more of an idea of what
Awesome.
it is that it
Okay.
Awesome.
Oh,
So you said you're using more of JetBrains and Google Code Labs.
Yes, the JetBrains and the other one from Google.
Yeah.
Code Lab. Is it Code Lab?
Yes. So personally, before we started this challenge, after we finished last year's what do they call this program? After we finished last year's program, that's program last year, my mentor made me understand that programming in Kotlin is a lot more easier than programming in Java. And he said he did not know why last year they decided to work with Java instead of working with Kotlin. Personally, I think that may be because the knowledge providers, plural sites in this case, the content they had on their platform as at last year were Java content. So maybe that's why they did not really do a lot of Java for the EED last year. So since then, I've been researching resources to augment my learning. And that was when I stumbled on Google Code Labs. And with Google Code Labs, I'd already built my first app. I've built Dice Roller so far. If any of us have also taken Google Code Labs, the first app you build is one happy birthday app. Then you now build Dice Roller. I've built Dice Roller and I've also uploaded it to my GitHub. Yeah. So this week I had to review those things that I'd learned on my initial time of building Dice Roller, and also spent a lot of time on JetBrains because it helped me understand the fundamentals of writing programs with Kotlin. So apart from the whole overall Android development team, JetBrains have so far also helped me improve with my Kotlin skills. I guess where I've gotten to right now is the first project. I just finished the first project on Kotlin this morning. Yeah, so that's how far I've come. Pearl, it's your turn.
okay. So I have just been, for the past week, I've just been learning mainly with that JetBrains Academy, and then also learning with plural site content. So I tried to just build a simple. Pardon?
Please wait. So let's
Okay.
do this like this. Let's introduce ourselves first. You may want to tell us your name, your first name, so that we are not calling you by your last name or your surname. And you
No,
may
it's,
want
it's okay if you call me by any name.
okay, and you may want to tell us the country you're from. So maybe you can connect with another developer in the country, and we get this Good. Yeah. So let's start with introduction, then we go into how far we've come with the program.
So I am Boble Spell, student at the ICT University in Cameroon, Yaoundé. So I'm from Cameroon. That implies. So I've been seriously working for the past 1 week. I tried to spend at least 2 hours on JetBrains academic content and 2 hours on Pluralsight. I'm not really working with Google Code Labs really, because I have a little mastery of syntax. So I try to perfect understanding of syntax, especially in Kotlin, because it's key to like developing apps. And then while doing that, I'm following the man on Pluralsight on his course, which he's trying to explain how to build a Node app. So practically, I've also learned how to like work with those navigations, like the navigation drawer, the bottom navigation view, and I'm getting a little efficient due to the fact that I was following the content on JetBrains Academy. So it shows you that if you use this, it will give you this, and I've really benefited within this, let's say 6 days I've been in this program. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks. All right. Ringson, it's your turn.
Evening, everyone, once more. So this is Ringson from Zambia. Yeah. So for the past 1 week, this is how I've been doing the studies myself. One thing that I'm really good at is reading. So the first thing that I do is first read the content. So the websites that I use, I'm currently using Javad Point and the JetBrains Academy. So when I first read from Javad Point, I read about Kotlin and stuff. Then I move on to JetBrains Academy. I also do a part that side. Then later on, I'll go to Pluralsight and just try and follow through the guy doing the coding and stuff. That way, it has really, really helped me in a sense that when those guys are explaining terminologies, you might find that they expect you to know the terminologies. So that way, I'm not really lost, but I'm trying to follow keenly, not just the way he's writing the code, but at least trying to understand what the code is actually doing, because the goal of learning is not just one, to be able to write code, but you just have to fully understand why he's writing a particular line of code. So that's how I've been doing it myself on my end. I firstly read. When I'm done reading, then I go to videos, so that at least I get the content. More or less like trying to get the theory and practical aspect of it all. That's all. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Thanks so much, Vincent. All right, Emmanuel, please, you have the floor.
Okay, my name is Afe Emmanuel from Nigeria. I study at Edo University, Iyamo. I started Google Code Labs last 2 weeks, but before that, last year I also joined the Google Andela Developer Scholarship Program. That was 2020's own, which was also for Java. I proceeded and I also got to level 2. But when I got to level 2, I later realized I did not understand what was going on, because the thing was not, it was not like what I was expecting. They did not tell us that the prerequisite before you start the course was you need to know Java programming language. So I just joined and I continue watching the video. Based on what I've learned in the video, I used to answer some questions and I got to level 2. But then I noticed that I was not good. So I went back to Java Fundamentals. Can you hear me?
Yes, we had the same challenge.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
So I went back to Java Fundamentals with which Wilson did on Pluralsight. So I went to that fundamentals and I was learning it before my subscription. No, Google was one that created subscription for us, and it expires. So my subscription got expired. So then I went to YouTube. I downloaded some YouTube videos for Java programming. Downloaded YouTube videos for Android developing platform and whatsoever. They are doing Kotlin instead of Java. So I had to transition from Java to Kotlin. And the code labs, I've gone far also in code labs. I'm in recycler view.
Wow.
While the player side, I've also gotten to on player side, I've gotten to what's it called again? The activities part that Sim was talking about activity life cycle and all this one. That's where I am now.
Awesome.
And that's all.
Well done.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay. Iken, now you have the floor. Hi, Iken.
Okay. Hi. Good evening. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay. I'm the boss, so it might be rowdy, sha. But I'm looking out from Nigeria, and I would say that anyway, I'm studying in the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. This is my first time learning Kotlin. I've learned Java for some while now. I don't think I'm proficient in Java, but I know that with the help of some practice, I can be better at that. But Kotlin has been a good ride so far. At least I've been learning the syntax. Syntax is very important. As one person said, syntax is very important. You can learn the syntax, other things becomes much more easier. I've only been using. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
I said I've only been using the plural site because that is always available to me right now. The code labs and the JetBrains Academy, I've not yet had time to open it. Anyway, when I get back to school, I'll have ample time to do it. But the plural site that contains only videos, that is one I'm using to learn. I'm currently in that navigation site by Jim Wilson. I think I've also watched the ones on Kevin Jones about Kotlin. I prefer doing Kotlin to like normal, how will I put it? Not Kotlin with Android, but normal Kotlin. I think that is where I'm strong in. But since this course is about Android, I have to put more effort in learning Android programming also. Anyway, Kotlin is okay, but I prefer they did them Flutter instead. Thank you.
All right. So, Iken, how many programming languages are you like from like?
I have a lot. I know a lot, but I'm not. I just know a lot, but I'm not a master in anyone. The one I would say I'm a bit okay with is Java because I learned that one. In a hard way. Let me put it that way. I learned it in a hard way. I know others. I know some other programming languages. I know Ruby, JavaScript, Flutter, that is Dart, Python, and some others. Some others. But I'm not a master in any of them. Yeah. Hello? What do you say?
Are you studying computer science? Hello, you muted yourself.
Okay, I said no.
Okay.
The electronic engineering I'm studying.
Yeah. Awesome. Well done.
Thank you.
Hi, Destiny.
Hi. Good evening.
Good evening.
Can I go?
Yeah,
Can I
please.
proceed?
Yes.
Okay, guys. I'm Amari Destiny from Nigeria. I'm a student of the University of Benin. Actually studying physics. I'm a year one student. I've actually started coding for like some time now. Let's say since 2018. When I finished my work, and I started with mainly web design. Then I got into JavaScript. What I'm trying to say is that when I was learning JavaScript, though it was confusing, I did not even have a computer at that time. I was using my phone, just watching videos, and with that excitement and all of that. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. But this Kotlin of is the problem I'm having is majorly pluralsight. Like everything it's like the scholarship is not for everybody. Like when on the onboarding they said and they wanted 1,000 the scholarship for 1,000 persons, like it's a competition. So what I'm just observing is that the scholarship is not for everybody. It's like a competition. Those that can go through or put through with it will get the scholarship and move to other phase, then finally to the project phase before they get the scholarship. Those processes and courses, some are outdated, and the prerequisite is that you know Java. And even if you know Java, they'll still want you to understand Kotlin first before you'll be able to go through the whatever. Presently, I'm actually on two Google whatever, I don't know what they call Google Scholarship. That's the guards, and the Google for Gaming. The one they do with majorly I've forgotten the company's name. For with C Sharp, they are doing that on C Sharp. I'm currently learning these two, and I have my assessment test on Monday. That's why I'm learning Kotlin and learning C Sharp together. It's actually difficult for me. But with that one, hope you can still hear me.
Yes, we can.
With that one,
Yes,
they use thank you. They use the free code camp for that gaming with C Sharp. They use free code camp, and the guy is actually he explained everything. Like it was I was even baffled that I could even understand C Sharp very easy. It was a 4 hour 31 minutes course, and I was able to understand C Sharp. I'm even writing some programs myself in C Sharp. And in this garden scholarship, whatever, they are just making everything difficult for me. Like I started with jumping, switching from Java to Kotlin. That one was very confusing. I spent about an hour or two on that one. Then I moved to Kotlin Fundamentals. That one was very confusing. So I had to download some videos on YouTube, especially from Free Code Camp. And I went through the basis of Kotlin. I understand the basis of Kotlin. Where I got confused was on interface providers. So I was really confused. Then I jumped back to Pluralsight, and it's like the confusion. Every time I go to Pluralsight, I get more confused. Every time I go to Pluralsight, I get more confused. So I had to dump Pluralsight and head to the JetBrain, that hyperscales.org project. So I'm actually at the beginning phase of that one because I'm still doing C Sharp. I have to master it so that I can pass the assessment test. That's just all for me this week. Like in Kotlin, I'm confused, but in C Sharp, I'm doing well. I don't just understand. It's like I'll just leave the thing for them because I don't like any I don't like stressing myself with.
You, we're no longer hearing you. Hi, Destiny. Are you still there?
Bringing these other like I learned that they said is making it difficult for me, so I'm actually confused. The only help I believe I need now is like if I can know the IQ skills and test, what are the things I need to learn so that I can just leave the Pluralsight content, like just watch them without learning from them, then learning from somewhere else, because me learning from Pluralsight, I will get more confused.
I can hear you. Actually, you can learn from YouTube also. Just Kotlin developers, Kotlin app development on YouTube. You see everything. They will explain to you as if you're a beginner, and you will learn from them also.
Okay. Now, what I'm saying, is it advisable not to learn from Pluralsight?
Please let me take this. When you want to learn something like Kotlin, the advantage, I mean, the thing is that you have to be a little bit more dedicated, because these are things that, I mean, let's say Android apps have syntax that you have to follow, because they require perfection in the market. They will not require that you should just come and you build an app that maybe someone might open it and scratch. So Pluralsight, though some of the contents are outdated, but they will tell you that those are the things that are required for Google certification. Those things are still able to run on phones. So it would be nice that you could take, for instance, JetBrains Academy. On Kotlin, they can even start teaching you on JetBrains Academy for maths. They teach you calculus that you can, let's say you can come out with, let's say, logical statements on how to approach problems. So JetBrains Academy is a good place. YouTube is good. I think Java Tutorial Point is another good place that you could learn those languages without too much stress on that.
Okay.
Yeah, Destiny. There's something else I want to say, but it's outside the whole learning stuff. What I'll say is pick your fights. Yeah. See, it's better for you to learn one language and become a master at it than for you to learn 10 languages and still be average.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know that each languages have its own strengths. Say Kotlin, for example, is very good in Android development. We see that they are doing other things in server side, backend, and so on and so forth. But then we know it's good in Android development. And when you're very good in Kotlin, you'll be very good in Android development. So you know that will be your strength. PHP, for example, is very good with working with databases and so on and so forth. If you have a master at PHP, that will be your strength. So what I say is pick your fights, choose the language, choose your preferred language and become a master at it. So it's always better to focus and get to the top than to split your energies. It reduces the amount of traction you get. So yeah, there are all these learning resources everywhere and they can easily get you confused, but you have to focus. It's only by focusing that you can get this thing done. Yeah, I know someone else wants to contribute. Please go ahead.
Okay. Okay. If I decide to learn from JetBrains and using the Google Code Labs, like, will I face any issue of confusion? Like, will it be plain for me, easier for me with JetBrains and Google Code Lab? Because that Pluralsight, I don't think I'm going to go to that site again to just learn anything from them. They are just confusing me. Like, I'm really confused. So
Yeah,
what are your advice? What's your take?
So for me, talking about Pluralsight, I don't think for this GATS program, you can do it without Pluralsight because a lot of what we are learning are on Pluralsight. The skill IQ you have to take to proceed to the next step is on Pluralsight. When we get to the project phase, the project you have to write will also be on Pluralsight. So you have to just stick with it. You have to manage it. Even if you don't give it the maximum number of hours, but at least you have to still be proficient on the platform. But then, if you are learning with Google Code Labs and you are learning with JetBrains, they start from Hello World. So Google Code Labs is the associate Android developers track. So it's basically teaching you associate Android development, everything you have to learn to get to the certification. So you won't miss out on anything. That's number one. Kotlin JetBrains is basically teaching you the whole Hello World thing, the whole Kotlin thing. So you won't also miss out on the logic part of writing the program. So that is that. So I think you won't have problems with JetBrains and Google Code Labs. Guys, this meeting will end very soon. I've pasted the link to the continued meeting on WhatsApp. So once this meeting drops, let's join in with that other link.
Okay, please, can I say something too?
Please go ahead.
Okay, so because I had someone like a mentor before that was mentoring me towards learning programming. So there's something they always tell you that you should look for one language, you think on its application and be interested. Like belonging to two scholarships is a nice thing, but you find out that you give more of your time towards the one that interests you more. You might learn the first one, and then later on, now you could come to start learning the second one, because you might have you might have acquired a lot of skills from the other one now, which will make this other one easy. So it'll be advantageous that you could learn, you could do one this year, and then with the chance, I mean, with your experience, now you get into the other one, let's say the next year, after you might have practiced a little bit, not from Plural side, but from somewhere like YouTube or the JetBrains Academy.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's very, very true. And the same
Okay,
advice.
I have one. That's nice advice. I also have another question. What if, okay, that means that JetBrain now, that JetBrain is going to like get me prepared, get me ready for the Pluralsight content, right?
Yeah, what JetBrains is basically going to do is to teach you the logic and the programming pattern for Kotlin. JetBrains will get you up to speed on everything Kotlin. So that's that. And since Kotlin is who we have to go the way back, see the number of people who submitted their projects, look at the project, and see if those projects were well written, and for the size of 1,000 people. So it's 1,000 that will now make the certification phase, where you now write for the Google App Card for the Android Associate Developer certification. And I don't even know, out of that 1,000, I don't know how many people got the certification last year. So that's how it is. But I know a couple of us got certification. I've seen some people. So that's how it is. So it's
Sorry, I have a question.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying the project, is it individually or group?
The project is hosted on Pluralsight, so it's linked to your Pluralsight account. So you write the project and you submit it on Pluralsight, and then when you submit the project, that's when they analyze it to see if you accelerate to the next phase, which is the certification phase.
So they're not giving something like money in this scholarship. It's just certificate they are asking for.
Yeah, a scholarship is basically for you to learn. That's what the word scholarship means. So Google is paying for us to Google is paying for your subscription to your site. Google is paying for your certification because AAD certification comes with a price. There's an amount you pay to write the exam. So Google is paying for that. And after that, Andela links you up with their job network. So when you get the associate developer certification, on Andela Learning Community, they have a job network there. So they can now link you up with companies that want to employ developers.
Okay. Sorry.
Thank you.
My question is that the projects, do you get to choose which project you will be doing, or do you choose it for you?
Okay, so the project for the project phase itself, you don't choose. You just see the project on your whiteboard and you have to write it. But there is another project that Andela brings on. It's that one you now choose that, okay, I want to work in so sector, and develop something for that sector. So there are like two projects. There's the voluntary one that Andela brings, and then there's the project that you need to write to accelerate to the certification phase. Yeah. Tijani, did I answer your question?
Yeah, you did. Thanks. Yeah.
All right. So some of us have not introduced ourselves and talked about how far we've come. So I know Miriam, you were the next person after Destiny. So you have the floor. Godwin, do you have a question?
Yeah. No, I just wanted to introduce myself.
Okay. Go ahead after you, Miriam. Go.
My name is Gordon David, and I'm from Nigeria. And I've not actually get to the university, but I'm planning to by next year. Actually, I repair computer and desktop. So on my secondary school, that's when I get interest for programming. And ever since I've been learning programming language like Python and Java a bit, but it wasn't actually. I never had a platform to learn. I was learning via YouTube, and now like someone was talking about pure site. That pure site is kind of confusing. What I say about pure site is that because there are videos that start from crash and there are videos that start from like that are required to know some certain things. So when someone mentions the word your site, for example, like interface or some or companion objects, what I would do is that I'll pause that video and I'll go to YouTube and search like what's companion objects in Kotlin. Then in YouTube I will see basic like simple explanation. Then after watching the short video on YouTube, I'll still come back to the previous video. That's how I get moving with the pure sites here. They have great content. It's just that sometimes they don't really start from scratch actually. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you so much. All right. Godwin, have you had any challenges so far with your this year over time that you've been learning this in this GATS program?
Yeah, my challenge I would say it's time actually because I'm actually working get the play laptops and I go there by 8 in the morning. I come back by 7 in the evening. So time has been my major challenges. And another thing is understanding those contents in Pure side. I try my best to do that. And you introduced me to JetBrain, and I really love that because it's been helping me a lot. Like JetBrain has been helping me a lot. Actually, I have to read this, but yeah, I'm trying to solve them up.
Well done. Okay, so Miriam, you have the floor.
Well, I didn't get it.
No, you are done. Miriam has the floor. Hi, Miriam. Can you hear us?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay,
Okay, so my name is Miriam from Nigeria. What are we supposed to say again? Okay, so before now, I've been using JavaScript, like JavaScript. That's the first language I learned. And I tried. So I built projects with JavaScript. So, but getting to Kotlin, it's kind of confusing, true, very confusing. But the only thing that I got to understand is that the same pattern of logic is used, but this time around different syntax and sometimes a different approach when it comes to plural site content. I've not really checked other content, was happening there, but that's what I noticed with Pluralsight. So, and again, initially when I started, it was confusing, but I had to like settle my mind, calm down a little to like understand what the structure is saying. And I just noticed it has some kind of similarity with JavaScript, but not so, the similarity is not that much because of the syntax difference and all. So, but it's not been easy, Sha. So, but I discovered JetBrains. I was using just Pluralsight initially until I joined the WhatsApp group and I got to know that there is JetBrains and and Coders Lab and all that. And what do you even call it? That stuff, Sha. So I've been using them. Like I'm still trying to work my way through Kotlin, but I'm totally new to Android development.
Yeah, well done. So yeah, there are all these very little challenges that we encounter when we get started, even on any of these programming platforms. Always there are these very small bugs that you just get to meet and you have to solve them. So say for example, you posted something on the group just now about the Android emulator and the Android virtual device. Personally, last year, my PC could not even run the Android virtual device. So I was working with that using my phone. And so far, it's been always awesome. I enjoyed it using the mobile phone, even compared to doing it on my PC. So if you can't install Android emulator, and because of the runtime, you shouldn't even stress about it. Just debug your app using your mobile phone. That's always a better approach. And then if we have any challenge, I also learned of Stack Overflow last year. Stack Overflow helps everybody with coding challenges. So if you have any challenge, just copy it, paste it on Google. You see a Stack Overflow topic on it, and you can just click it and read it. And many times it has solved my own challenges many times. So I guess it can help others.
I remember when I first on an Android emulator on my PC, like the PC just froze and I had to like for shut down the PC before I could use it again. So ever since I don't want emulator on my PC. When I want to test my app, I just use my Android phone or my sister zones.
Okay, so Abdullah Salako, it's your turn.
Okay, good evening.
Hi. Yes.
Yeah, so my name is Salako Abdullah from Nigeria, and I'm a student. Actually, I'm in my final year in University of Ibadan. I'm studying chemistry. So I've been learning web designing since, let's say, 2018, but then I had no laptop, so it was more of theory with solo learn. So I got laptop this year, so but I've been busy with school and all that. So I thought I applied for this GAT. I don't know. I shall see any opportunity and apply. You get now. I don't know. I just got the mail that I've been selected, stuff like that. So I don't even know I choose Android this thing. I shall find myself there. So I just started learning JavaScript because my prior experience with free code camp. So yeah, so it's HTML and CSS. So JavaScript, I think I learned JavaScript for maybe 1 or 2 months. Yeah. So I started this Kotlin though. So the first night that I I checked Pluralsight. All the content I was seeing, they were not beginners friendly at all. If you want to start it, they will say you need power learning of Java. If you want to start this, they will say you need con Java. So I had to check Google. It was from I think I saw JetBrain on what's it called? So I now went to YouTube. I downloaded every fundamental course I can lay my hands on Kotlin. So that was how I get to know IntelliJ, stuff like that, because I've never heard of it before. Android Studio, I used to hear about Android Studio, but IntelliJ, Eclipse, stuff like that. It was from those videos I downloaded from YouTube. So from YouTube, I was learning. I was doing the little I could. So that was on that Andela platform, yeah. That was how I got to know about the hyperscale something. So I started the hyperscale at the beginning of this week. Yeah, the week that is ending today.
Yeah.
I've been, since then I've not go back to Pluralsight at all.
Okay.
So I've been using that hyperscale. Although hyperscale too, they have their own faults but their content is beginner friendly. But they give you some exercise. 1 or 2 out of their exercise, they will require you to have some prior learning of programming before. Because that is what will make the task very easy. Sometimes I will talk, I will ask people, they will solve it for me. I will postpone some of them. Yeah, so towards the end of the week, I had fever, so I was not that active. So, well, we shall move in, shall.
All right. Well done. Well done. So the thing is, what
is it?
So far, I said well done. So far, personally, my own hyperscale journey, as I said, I just finished the very first hyperscale project on my dashboard this morning. And I understood that what hyperscale basically does is help you think like a programmer, like a hacker. Because the truth is, you always encounter programming challenges that you feel like, how do I solve this now? So as much as you are learning the content, you have to do a lot of research and a lot of practice because it's part of the whole work. That's the core of programming, the research and the practice. So it's good to watch videos and all those stuff, but when the tire hits the road, it's the amount of research and the amount of practice that you do that differentiates the average developer from the senior developer. So that's how it is. So say for example, this morning, the project that I had to write, the content of the previous learnings, there was a part of the project that was not in the content. So they were expecting that you go out, you research it, you incorporate it as part of the project, and you submit. And when you submit, it shows that it's correct. So that's how it is. We are all trying to become developers here. And part of the developer journey is the ability to do research, to find new ways of solving challenging problems, and to just solve it. So that is it. Yeah. So who's next? Moses. Moses, have you spoken? I guess not.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Odgonshaw Moses. I'm speaking from Lagos, Nigeria. I'm currently a student of University of Lagos, Applied Physics with Electronics. It has been nice, the process, it has been nice. But I've actually been using more of JetBrains than Pluralsight. It's basically because of my Android Studio. It has not been working. And thanks to Be Humble, I don't know if it's still here. Be Humble and Ash, yeah. They really helped. Like this evening, I sent a message to the group chat. I would have replied them, but because I know we are still having a call here, so to thank them, it would be nice. So I sent a message that I was actually thinking maybe it's my Android studio that has a problem. So, or my system, sorry, like the specification, but they just said I should connect to the system, like to internet, and just keep on running it and over and over and over. And I did that, and it works. So my Android studio is currently working perfectly well. So I can start a Plura site, and yeah, but I have two questions if you don't mind.
Please go ahead.
You talked about like, oh, sorry, someone has mentioned it, but it is part of the requirement. Like we should complete, I think, 10 hours plus videos. Is it or and we should also like get or okay. So if I can score like above 100, that means I don't really need to complete. Okay.
Taking the test and scored 100 plus. Those of us that have taken that test and scored 100 plus, they've already qualified for the second stage.
Okay.
So, or if you are too afraid to take the test, but you have enough time to spend, but please listen. So basically, what Plura site and are saying.
Okay. I get now. So that's more like an option to just watch like a lot of videos and messages. Okay, thank you for that. And the second thing is for the IntelliJ, do we really need it? Because the JetBrains that I've been using, like all the exercises that have been given is I can just write the code there and just submit. I've not really I don't really have any reason to go back and open IntelliJ and use it.
Right? Yeah. So when you get to the project phase, you have to use the IDE. And there's something.
I have to use what?
You have to use the IntelliJ IDE when you get to the project phase.
Oh, you mean when on JetBrains, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So
thank you.
This Android Studio is built on IntelliJ's IDE. So it has the same abilities. So say for example, if you are studying with your PC and you click, instead of clicking where you write the code on IntelliJ itself, you click where it writes IDE and you click on that IDE, you see that it begins searching your system if you have the IDE open. So if you have Android Studio alone, if you have Android Studio open on your system, it will tell you that the IDE is open, but there is a plugin that is not on that IDE. So one thing you can do is to go into plugins part of Android Studio and download that. I don't know if it's EduTools or what they called it, and download that plugin to your Android Studio. So you'll be able to work on those content and work on it with Android Studio instead of downloading IntelliJ.
Okay. Thank you so much for the explanation. Thank you.
On a personal note, yeah, you're welcome. On a personal note, to be frank with you guys here, beyond just the power that Kotlin gives us to write Android code for Android development, I also like to advance and be able to use Kotlin for multi-platform development. Use it for server side, use it for front end, use it for compile it to JavaScript. Kotlin gives you all those strengths, and they are presently working on different arms of using the same programming language to do different things. So when you get to a level in Kotlin knowledge, you'll be able to use that programming language to build websites. You'll be able to use that programming language to query databases. You'll be able to use that programming language to build apps that run on iPhones. So it just makes sense that you have the integrated development environment where that programming language runs best, which is the IntelliJ IDE. So you get what I mean? Apart from just having the Android Studio, IntelliJ IDE is also a very powerful program on its own and gives you a lot of strength. So if your all this boils down to your computer, your system. If your system has the power to carry an extra IDE, please go ahead. But if it does not, please work with Android Studio.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, so I have a question.
Please go ahead.
Yeah?
Please go ahead.
Yeah. So I have both IntelliJ and Android Studio. I don't know the difference. I just download both. I download both of them when I was asked to download them. So do I have to install one for one? Maybe I should leave both.
You can leave both. What version of IntelliJ did you download? Is it the community or the edu?
Yes, it's the community version.
Okay. So for beginners, it's recommended you download the edu, not the community. I also downloaded the community before, but I uninstalled it and downloaded the edu. Because within the edu, you can learn the programming itself. But the community is for people who are already versed with the programming language, who just want to
Sorry,
code.
please. Are you talking about IntelliJ now?
Yeah, IntelliJ.
Is that the one that is for like edu?
Yes, there's educational.
Oh, wow. I think I downloaded for community.
So I should uninstall the community version and download the other one, right?
Yeah, you can do that.
All right, thanks. So what's the difference between IntelliJ and Android Studio?
Okay, so Android Studio have Android specific programming packages. So say for example, when you want to run a new app, you start with what do they call it? You have to call the bundle instance states. You have to call all those Android specific programs. Android Studio comes prepackaged with those programs. But the same way IntelliJ works, that's how Android Studio works because it's built by the same company.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. All right. So who have not spoken? Tijani, I guess you've talked a bit. Okay.
But not today though. For I've introduced myself before.
Oh, introduce yourself today now. Which one is not today?
Oh, okay. My name is Tijani Mubarak Adewale. I'm a student of Babcock University. I'm from Nigeria. So I've been learning in Pluralsight though. Like I've learned for like 20 hours plus. But now I'm realizing that I've just been wasting my time. So I've gone back to like I went to YouTube to check videos on the basics of Kotlin. So that's what I'm working with right now. But at least I'm confident that I'm covered with that 20 hours plus that will be good in the next phase. So I just need to study the basics very well now, so I'll be able to do well in the project phase. So that's what I have to say. Thank you, guys.
Okay. So everybody here is knocking the power of Google Code Labs, and I'm so sad because Google themselves designed this track for anybody who wants to become an associate Android developer. And the Code Lab starts from Hello World. Like there's no, if you want to learn Kotlin and Android at the same time, there's no better platform than the Code Labs because you get hands-on experience, you get the knowledge from the people who are setting the exam themselves. So why are you not taking the Google Code Labs? You know. So,
Okay, for me, when I entered that code lab site, the first thing I saw was pay for this, and it just threw me off. I don't even want to see the free one. Sef. I just saw pay for this. Since I'm getting the same this thing in plural site, why will I? Anyway, I'll go and try it again, sha. But as I just saw pay for this, it threw me off balance. So.
so here's the thing, yeah. The certification, the exam itself is a paid exam, but the learning is free. So once you go to that link that is on our WhatsApp page and you click on the Google Code Labs part, you create all of us have Google accounts. That's where we receive the emails. You log in with your Gmail account. The learning starts from Hello World. In fact, it's very fun. I enjoyed it personally. So I don't know. Most of us are not taking it, and it's very interesting. You see that when you try it out, you like it. Actually, you like it when you try it out.
Compared to JetBrains.
I'll try it.
The reason why I take JetBrains is because I want to master the language itself, because the logic behind the language, you know. But if it's that I just want to write this exam, become associate developer, and move on with my life, it's only Google Code Labs I'll take. But I know that beyond the power of Android, Kotlin has other powers too. And that's why I'm picking JetBrains.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Yeah. So that's it. So announcements. We have about 6 minutes to go. So number one, let us take this skill IQ test now, so that we know what it is now that we are starting out. And at the end of the 31-day challenge, we are also able to take it and know what it will be by then. Surely most people are scoring 100 plus. So if you take the skill IQ today, last year when I took the skill IQ the first time, I scored 200 plus, and I did not know anything about Java. So if you take the skill IQ now, chances that you've already qualified will be very, very high. That's number one. And then by the end of the program, you are able to retake it and you see how far you've come. That's number two. And then there is something special for anybody that takes the skill IQ. We are giving out community badges. Let me share my screen. Say hello to our new community badges. Where's my screen? Share screen. Okay. Yeah. Hi guys. Okay, this now started today again. Can you see my screen? Can anyone see my
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So say hello to our new community badges. So this is for anybody who takes the test. Open up. It's taking time to load. I could open now. Why is this thing not opening? It's taking so much time. Okay. It's taking its time. Let's allow it to take its time. But then we are introducing 4 new community badges. Number one is Fast Starter. And the Fast Starter is for those who take the skill IQ test before the 10th of this month, they are going to get the fast starter badge. The second badge is the helpful dev badge. Already some people have earned the helpful dev badge within the community. Ruthie, I don't know what her name is, but then Ruthie have earned the helpful dev badge. This badge. Ruthie have earned it. And those other people that who mentioned their names just now have also earned this badge. So basically what you need to do is to earn this badge is to help someone else within the community, and you earn this badge. The third one is learning champion. Learning champion is awarded to the highest learner per day. So on our database, we are going to be looking through it, see the person who spent the most hours learning in a single day, and the person earns this learning champion badge. And I'm going to be backtracking.
Wow.
I'll look at what we have done before now. Anybody that learned most, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, down to the day, that's day 7, the person is getting this badge. And then there's the final badge, which is the superstar badge. This badge goes to the person who will score highest on the skill IQ test at the end of this program. That's our superstar. And the person will be earning this badge. So yeah, a couple of people have already earned this learning dev, helpful dev badge, Ruthie number 1. And the other 2 guys who answered my friend's question earlier today. And then some of us will be going with this learning champion badge by today or tomorrow. I'll send you an email awarding you with your badge. And then those of us who have already written the skill IQ test will also be getting this fast starter badge. And those of us who will write the skill IQ test before the 10th of this month will also be getting this fast starter badge. So the thing is, you can accumulate these badges. The more badges you get, we'll think of what to do to those people who get most badges. So it's a challenge, and we are in full swing. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you very much. Let me stop.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we've come to the end of this meeting. We have less than 1 minute to go. Let's go into our group and drop our national flags. I know that Nigeria will win today because most of us here are from Nigeria, but then let's represent our country. Represent your country, represent your country. Rep your country, then we can sign out. Yeah, Nigeria. All right. So be humble. Yeah, you are also getting the helpful dev badge, by the way. But humble is getting the helpful dev badge. But I don't know your real name.